Now before I start the last of the Limit Break 3 preview videos, guys, of course there is going to be another giveaway for this video. It is going to be for the Alert characters. Any character of your choice that is Alert, that is not part of anything too crazy, you know, like Challenge Run or Mythic Trials, you can pick if you win the giveaway. Just make sure you follow the instructions when it comes to using the giveaway phrase. Now, if you haven't already, of course, make sure you hit the subscribe button to be notified on my future content. Hit the like button on any of my videos that obviously you like and enjoy. And if you want to go an extra step further, you can support me by hitting the join button, which should be underneath any of my videos or in my live stream chats, for a little amount of $1 a month, which obviously is going to be $12 a year. You can financially support my channel. You'll get some upgrades, some boosts in my chat. You'll be able to use some emotes. You can attach your account on my Discord to YouTube, and your name will change to signify you are supporting me on my channel. And anyone who already does that, which I have over 100 people doing that already, it does obviously make a massive difference to me as a full-time YouTuber. I want to thank you so much, because without you guys, this would be a lot harder to do for sure. Thank you very much for listening, guys, and now on to the video. Hello survivors, and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video. And in this video we're going to be going over all the Alert Limit Break 3 upgrades. We're going to be previewing all of them in order. We're going to start off with Thomas Richards here. Nice and quick. We see the visuals of Thomas Richards as a Limit Break 3 character. Kind of gruesome if you look into more detail, i.e. the bag. But that was there on some of the earlier Limit Breaks, but yeah, very gruesome indeed. Does he get a rush up increase? He does. He gets +1 maim and heal reduction target. So now he deals it to 5 enemies instead of 4. This is obviously a nice little improvement. It isn't going to increase the amount of maim he's going to do, so it's going to be 24% of his HP. But the extra target is, you know, basically another 24% of his HP and maim, effectively. So it's never going to dodge somebody, which is pretty decent. Is he going to get a signature move upgrade? He is not. So his signature move is going to be as it shows. And he should get a rush, a passive upgrade, 10% debilitating status resistance. So nothing too spectacular there. I mean, that can be quite frustrating to come up against. I've come up against it a couple of times in Challenge Run. 20% just resist to all of the good ones, you know. Stun, confuse, taunt, impair, all of the good ones, daze, basically anything that is debilitating. Normalized too, I think normalized would be included in the debilitating status resistance here as well. So he's only the one of 2 characters which could potentially resist normalize. Next up is Gold Mythic Sandy, and visually she gets the backpack on her back. You can see that on the left hand side she doesn't have a backpack. We can't see she got one, but apparently she does, and I kind of like it. She looks a bit more ready for the battle. We'll check out if she gets a rush upgrade. She is not, so it's going to remain at what it is. Does she get a signature move upgrade? I would assume so. -1 to cooldown. This is actually not too bad. I like this quite a lot. Her signature move was where a lot of her power was. Has fallen off a little bit as other characters have come out. Tankier characters, you know how it is. But, you know, being able to do this more often in Challenge Run, this is going to be very useful. Turn 2, you know, then rush, then turn 4. That's going to be nice. That's going to be nice. Does she get a nice damage increase at all on her passives? When attacking, 40% chance to get absolute defense and reduce reflected damage down to 0. So that's going to be 80% total. That isn't too bad. You can see a dodge at the top when attacking, 80% chance. When the character originally came out on that preview, I didn't like the 40% chance. 80% chance is obviously a lot nicer. It would have been great, obviously, if it was 100%. I don't think that would have been too crazy, considering I don't think Sandy's like that great anymore when it comes to the comparison to other damage dealers. But, you know, more often than not, you're not going to have any reflect damage to deal with. Gold Mythic Rick is here, and he is going to get his hat as a Limit Break 3 character. One of the most important visual upgrades out of every character that we're going to be checking out is that hat getting added there. He does get a 440% boost. No, he's going to get a 40% boost to 440%, which is not too bad. The little boost on his rush. His signature move is already turn 1. It's not going to get a boost here. So he should get a boost on one of his passives. And it is going to be Heroic Death. When killed, all teammates get 20% attack for 3 turns. I didn't really like this one personally. It was very, you know, situational. He has to be taken out for this to even work. And generally speaking, you don't want to lose somebody in a fight if you can help it. But I guess it's not too bad in challenge run and stuff. He's not likely to be focused. It does go up to 40% attack boost. I think heroic death when killed, all teammates get 40% attack for 3 turns. And 3 turns is a long time, so you should be able to get off some signature moves and potentially rushes as well. So it's not too bad, I guess. But yeah, I wasn't a big fan of this when I originally previewed Rick. I would have liked to have seen a bit of more of a boost to his signature move, because I think that's where his support style comes in. Because he gives crit bonuses and attack bonuses, I think. Yeah, 2 teammates get 50 crit for 3 turns. I would like to have seen that gone up to like 3 or 4 teammates. Just to basically boost as many teammates with their crit as possible off of turn 1. Gold Mythic Magna, the least seen defense leader of all time. We're probably going to see her maybe a little bit more, or potentially, just because she is going to be in the 90% drop rates in the Gold Mythic wheel, so you're going to have more chance of actually getting this character now compared to previously. Visually, she looks like she looks on the right hand side, like she does on the left hand side. I think she gets the headphones around the neck. I'm not 100% certain there. She does also wink on the left hand side. Is she gonna? Yeah, there we go. There we go. It is pretty cool. It was one of the first ones we saw where it had an animation. No actual update to the rush here. Signature move is going to get an animation. An upgrade. It's going to be remove effects from a line. So you do 100% damage to a line of enemies and remove all positive statuses from those enemies. I think before it was the line damage. Yeah, the line damage at Limit Break 1 did not extend the cleanse to line. It was still just the target. So it's going to be a line of enemies getting cleansed. This could be useful in certain game modes. For instance, challenge run. You know, just removing defense bonuses and stuff like that if you want to just nuke. Not too terrible. Not too terrible at all. If you did use her on defense, she would obviously be able to remove things like attack bonuses and stuff, which isn't terrible either. We'll look at the upgrade here at Limit Break 3. Encouragement 2. Whenever this character removes a positive effect from a target, one teammate gets bonus 20% bonus HP. So this should stack with the other one. How does that work? Does it go up to just a bit more of a 35% bonus HP whenever she removes a positive effect? And obviously she's going to be removing positive effects with that signature move and with that rush, I think. Is it with the signature move that she removes positive effects? And she does it with the rush too, right? 2 teammates. No, she doesn't. So it's just the signature move that's going to do that. It's not too bad, I guess. A little bit of bonus HP if you have a heavy alert team. There's not too many sources of bonus HP outside of, more recent promo characters. So Magna doing that isn't too bad at all. And she gives a defense buff as well, I think, on her passive. So if she isn't under a negative status, so some nice little boosts from Magna as a defense leader. Gold Mythic Governor is up next, and visually he looks obviously as gruesome as he does on left hand side. It was one of the most spectacular looking characters we saw in terms of the visuals. I'm not sure if his daughter is now got his hand in her hands. I'm not sure if that's new. I've got no idea. I kind of don't want to know. Are we going to get an Adrenaline Rush update? We are. We're going to get a 10% boost to his main damage. So it's going to be 70% of his missing HP in main damage. That's obviously going to be big at damage output when he goes into Outlast. If he's missing everything, it's going to be a 70% of his max HP. He's not going to get a boost on his signature move. And lastly, his passives. He's going to get Unstoppable Outlast 2 when entering Outlast state. Another 30% chance to recover all debuffs. So that should be 60% now. It is. When entering the Outlast state, 60% chance to recover all debuffs. 30% chance was crazy. And this guy has been around for so long. And he's just got a buff to the 2 most important parts of his kit. The amount of main damage he's going to do, and the chance he has to actually cleanse all the debuffs. That's it. That's pretty much what you would have wanted to see on Governor. So big boost for him, and his continued, no doubt, usability in the game. Now we have Gabriel. We haven't seen too much of this character other than very early on in the Gold Mythic era. He was a pretty decent medic on some of the earlier teams, but because he lacked that revive, and I always did wish he got a revive boost on his limit breaks, just randomly on his rush, just revive one character, maybe would have made him slightly viable. He's not going to get a rush update, but he is going to get a signature move update. One teammate recovers from Impair and Confuse. This is actually interesting. They originally recovered from impair, but now they recover from confuse as well. The only downside of this is going to be a turn 2. Yeah, the only downside of this is when he does it, if a character is confused on that turn, they'll still do a confused attack first. So for instance, if someone is confused by Mirabelle turn 1, and then it comes to your turn for turn 2, the character that's confused will do a confused attack, and then he can obviously cleanse it, but you can't do anything that turn with that character. They can just not be confused for 2 turns. It'll be just confused for 1 turn instead. I mean, I guess it's not too terrible. He should get a passive upgrade as well. Limit Break 3, Sympathy 2. Whenever a teammate is healed, 60% chance to heal this character by 5% of their max HP. That's not too bad, I guess. Is that 100% total? Yeah, it is. So he's got 100% chance. Whenever a teammate is healed, he has 100% chance to heal himself by 5% of his max HP. And this is going to work quite nicely with fast healing, because that's going to proc this 100% of the time if he is Limit Break 3 upgraded. Erika is the first war character, I think, within the Mythic era. I think so anyway. As we see, she does get a backpack. I'm pretty sure that's a new addition to the visuals. We don't see it on the left-hand side, but she's going to get a backpack. What's she going to get on her kit? 75% damage boost. She's going to get a damage boost as a medic. Not exactly what you'd want to see. I know she's more of an attack team medic, but yeah, I don't think this is what I would have wanted to see personally, but it is the way it is. If we check out her signature move, she's also going to get a signature move boost, and that's actually a pretty decent signature move boost. It means that when she revives someone, they're going to be at 40% HP instead of 25%, which is actually a reasonable boost. She's reviving 2 characters. It can be pretty nasty when this goes off. It's just whether you can survive that long. Certain teams in Challenge Run and Conquest are quite hard to deal with Erika in, and she needs to be controlled or taken out quite early. And if she's taken out early, she's got that specialist skill that gives people AP. So she shouldn't get a passive upgrade, and she is one of the characters. Look, you can see all of her passives on the same screen, and 2 of these passives are because of her role. So she is really kind of like underwhelming when it comes to her passive upgrades. I can't remember another character. It's kind of maybe Gator. There's a couple of characters that just kind of like have nothing on their passives, and she is one of these characters. She is definitely one of these characters, but she has some pretty decent parts of her kit, namely her revive, and I think on things like Challenge Run, she can be quite useful, because regardless of what happens, if she's taken out, AP for teammates, and if she's not, she can revive people who are taken out. So yeah, I think she's pretty decent there. Okay, so next up is going to be Gold Mythic Elodie, and I think visually she gets the rolling pin and the flower in her backpack. I want to say that's fairly new. Obviously on the art on the left hand side, I saw that very early, but we do get some accessories. She's got the camera and stuff as well. If we check out her upgrades on her rush, she gets a pretty nice rush upgrade. 50% damage boost per fallen teammate, and it's 250% per fallen teammate to 1 enemy. So if she has 4 teammates taken out, she should do, is that 1,250% damage? I think this is going to be more of a problem when it comes to facing this character and things like Conquest and Challenge Run. She has got the specialist skill Hold the Line, and that will stack with this in terms of the damage buffs that she's going to do. So it will be pretty dirty. She could potentially be used on an attack team because she's got the defense down as well. But I think a lot of people will rely on Laurie for defense down when it comes to using her on Challenge Run. She's not going to get a boost on her signature move, so she's all done and dusted there, but she will get a boost on her passives. And it is Martyr 2. When taken out, 1 teammate gets 50% attack and defense for 2 turns, and that should stack with the first one, so it should be 100%. Is that right? There we go. When taken out, 1 teammate gets 100% attack and defense for 2 turns. This is actually pretty decent again, kind of like Erika. Whether she's taken out early in the fight or whether she's left till last, she's going to be useful either way. So she could be used in the same team as Erika on Challenge Run, and then you have a leader and like 2 damage dealers, and that wouldn't be too terrible, I guess. Could get it done against certain stages, especially ones where you're likely to have characters taken out. For instance, against those tough stages, if Elodie gets taken out, she could buff a teammate, get a massive attack boost, could go on to someone like Laurie, could go on to Sandy, and that's going to be very, very beneficial. Now we have the Survival Road Depot character, which is going to be Gold Mythic Dwight. We're going to see what he gets the upgrades on his kit, but visually he looks pretty much as you would expect on the left-hand side. Same sort of deal. Lots of accessories. Accessorize, guys. Accessorize. He's going to get a 30% attack boost per attack, so he's going to go up to 250% per attack, 500% total on his rush at limit break 3. We'll check out his signature move. Does that get a boost? It is not, but it has had some boost already, and this is where you're going to get a lot of his power is because of the burn in here. What does he get as a passive upgrade? He gets Coup de Grace 2 when attacking targets with a burn status can trigger the execution skill 5% sooner, and that'll stack with Coup de Grace 1, and it'll be 10% sooner, so he'll have a 35% execution, which is actually pretty decent and could work with certain characters in the future. You know, we've had characters get limit break 3 upgrades that are very interesting. For instance, Tara, she does 80% of a character's max HP in damage on her signature move, and that means that, you know, you'd be able to do the execution skill with any execute. But if in the future, if we had another character come out that did like a, let's say, a 65% max HP a hit, they would work really well with Dwight potentially. So just keep an eye out for that potential, but otherwise he's just going to be taking out characters a bit easier, and that could be good again for challenge run, coming up against very high HP characters. And because he's got a multi-hit rush, you could potentially take out 2 characters guaranteed with his rush. Gold Mythic Dale is up next, and visually I think he just gets like maybe the crowbar attached to his leg. It's just going to be a little bit of a boost there. Is he going to get a rush upgrade? He's not. His rush is actually pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I like his rush. I've used him in challenge run a couple of times. He's going to get a boost to his signature move, and one enemy is going to get minus 30 AP. This is actually not too bad on a defense team or an attack team. Command can kind of like counter this. Obviously, someone can just do a signature move and that's going to be more than 30 AP. A basic attack is going to be 30 AP in a lot of circumstances. So, yeah, it's not too bad, but it is annoying when there is a character in Conquest and Challenge Run that, you know, it's Dale and he does this minus 30 AP, I will say that. Does he get a boost to his passives? I would assume so. He's going to get Easily Excited 2, can perform the Manic Specialist skill with 10% more HP than normal, and this should stack with the first part, so there's going to be 20% threshold for performing the Manic Specialist skill. And let me just double check what Manic is base. Is it 70%? Yeah, so if this guy goes over 5%, just 5%, wait, is it 5% or 10? Is it 10% or 20% that he gets the boost here? So 20. So if he goes under 95% HP, he's going to start triggering Manic. That is really actually kind of dangerous because he can get that rush off really quickly, really quickly. And it's really beneficial if you're using him on attack. It won't take much, honestly, to get him under 95% HP, you know? If you're coming up against stages with any sort of damage over time, or if he gets targeted even slightly, even just one basic attack from a tough character, he will take enough damage, I think, to proc that that Manic Specialist skill. And that means he's just going to gain free AP and potentially just get a rush off nice and early. And that's such a heavy controlling rush. It is such a heavy controlling rush. I think it is a Daze. Is it Daze? Impair 3 characters for 2 turns. Can't do nothing except basic attacks. That is one of the more powerful ones in the game for sure. Gold Mythic Garrett is here, and I think he's just started to get all his ski gear on now. I think he gets the goggles on his head. Visually, he does look pretty cool. I like the visuals. His gun always did look pretty insane. We'll look at his upgrades. He's not going to... Oh, he is going to get a rush upgrade. It's going to be another 10% boost to the bonus HP he's going to get dish out. It's going to be 40% instead of 30% to 3 teammates. Not too bad, I guess. That's going to be quite nice. He's not going to get a boost to his signature move. And lastly, his passive upgrade is going to be Got Your Back 2. When attacking, 40% chance that one teammate gets 15% bonus HP. What's that stack? Oh, it's actually going to be stacking the bonus HP, not the chance. So it will still be 40% chance. When attacking, 40% chance that one teammate gets 30% bonus HP. Again, this character is more of a challenge run conquest kind of character, you know, other game features. He is frustrating to come up against in Conquest just because he has a particular weapon as well. And the bonus HP isn't as big a problem because those teams kind of have to be taken out with Infection. But yeah, he has got a very annoying weapon on those stages. He's obviously going to get more stats, so he's not really going to be buffed on those stages. But it could be buffed for you if you were planning to use him on Conquest or Challenge Run. Now we have Gold Mythic Laurie, who is of course the Mythic Trial character for the Atlanta Allegiance. We are going to check out her skills, but this is what she's going to look at, like fully upgraded visually. I think she just gets a couple more spikes like on her shoulder pads and elbow pads and stuff like that. And we'll check out if she gets an Adrenaline Rush upgrade. She's going to do an extra 50 damage per hit, so it goes up to 450%, 900% total, 2 separate hits. That's actually not too bad. Will she get a boost to her signature move? She is not. That's where a lot of her power is, but it is already quite powerful as it stands. Now we'll check out her passives to see if she does get a damage increase here. Is it going to amplify any damage output? Frightening Violence. When taking out a target, all enemies get minus 15% defense for 2 turns. That should stack up to 35% total, as you see at the top. When taking out a target, all enemies get minus 35% defense for 2 turns. This is actually one of the nicer parts of her kit, but she doesn't have a better chance to get this to happen because she didn't get any boost to her attack. Oh, I guess she did on her rush. I mean, her rush is generally going to take someone out regardless, but her first turn signature didn't get any boost, so you're still going to be reliant on things like your weapon, leader skill, buffs, and there are characters out there now that give quite nice buffs, you know, like Diamonds come into the game where she gives boost to alert damage and stuff like that, and you've also got attack leaders that can boost trait damage, and you've got Carol as well. So if you stack them all into the same team, Laurie's going to be quite nicely boosted there, and then the defense down on top when she takes a character out is going to help her teammates. So very beneficial kind of like teamwork there when it comes to challenge run teams, and I use that quite a bit, and it's nice to see this is going to get a boost. So could be well worth getting your teams together and ready for the potential Limit Break 3 of Laurie when she comes back around as a Mythic Trial reward. Now, talking of Carol, we now have Carol. Here's Carol. This is going to be another Alert character that is part of the Atlanta group. You have to get Carol up to Limit Break 3 to get Laurie, along with other characters, of course. And we'll just check out her kit. Visually, I think she just gets the sword on her back. I think that's what's new. Sort of just see it on her back. Does she get a boost to her rush? She's not, so she should get a boost to her signature move. And she is going to get a 50% damage boost to her signature move, which isn't too bad. A 350% damage hit on her signature move is actually really high, honestly. That's a really high amount of damage on a signature move. And she obviously, if she takes out a character, she has an 80%, or at least used to have an 80% chance to cleanse 1 negative effect on all teammates. Let's see if that gets a boost in here. We'll see Limit Break 3. Life Insurance. When taking out a target, there is a 20% chance that all teammates recover from a single penalty. So that's a 100% chance now, right? Yep. Life Insurance. When taking out a target, 100% chance for all teammates to recover from 1 negative effect. And the 80% chance this character was heavily used as anti-bleeds, you know, trying to counter things like Zachary on defense teams. So now it's a 100% chance, and she does more damage on that first turn signature move. That is nice. If you have her teamed up with Laurie, and Laurie does take out someone, there's going to be the extra defense down now as well if you've got Limit Break 3 Laurie, which will take a little bit more time to get, but this means that you have got an option to go in against bleed and burn teams if you are having problems with that. So that's actually pretty decent. Gold Mythic Cal now, and we have got an event character who was, I guess, pretty okay. He just had Guardian Shield, which is nice. I have used this guy quite a lot in Challenge Run, I'll be honest, and visually he does look pretty cool. He does, but I think he's just got more raggedy. His jacket has just got more raggedy over time. We'll see what he gets a boost to. His rush is going to get a 200% damage boost. I guess that's okay, but I don't really use him that. You will have to use military supplies to get this upgraded as well by the looks of things. It goes to 650% total damage to a single enemy. I kind of use him mainly for his Guardian Shield and his signature move. And his signature move is going to get actually a boost, and it's quite a nice one. A 0 turn cooldown means you can just spam this, and that means you can keep 2 people perma-stunned. That is actually not too bad at all. I like that quite a lot. He should not get any upgrades to his passives, and he is not. So that's actually quite a nice boost to his signature move. Where is it? His signature move is here. It kind of makes his signature move kind of like Razzo's. Razzo's is pretty much the same sort of deal, where it's initial cooldown 2, cooldown 0, and he stuns 1 enemy for 2 turns. I'm pretty sure it's almost identical, and I really like Razzo's, so that's great. And it's a guaranteed crit as well, so you can just guarantee yourself a crit attack, and you don't have to maybe build crit on him after turn 1. That's actually not too bad at all. I think that's actually pretty decent, and it's going to boost anyone who wants to use Cal in things like challenge run, so on and so forth. Okay, so we've got to that point in the video where I share the little phrase that you've got to write. Make sure you write it accurately. You just got to write it exactly as you see it on the screen. It doesn't matter if you use capitals or not. And that phrase is, I am liking the Alert LB3 upgrade of, and then put the character of which you like the upgrade of the most. And it's as simple as that. If you do not put a character name there, and it looks like you're just a bot basically putting the post in, I will be re-rolling the entry. So make sure you put a character there so I know it's an actual proper entry. If you haven't entered the previous giveaways, you can still do so. I'll be drawing these sometime in December. I do go into it a little bit more at the end of this video. Back to the Alert Limit Break 3 upgrade previews. Now, Gold Mythic Kapoor is here now, and as you can see visually, he just has a lot of extra weapons and a lot of upgrades on just basically his clothing. Looks a bit more high detail. He does not get a horse. It's very disappointing. He's not riding a horse into battle, but I don't think we could really expect that. Now, I think a lot of people do like Limit Break 2 Kapoor, so we'll see what happens with Limit Break 3. And he does not get a rush upgrade, so it will be 33% of this character's max HP in main damage to up to 3 enemies, which is pretty good. He will get a signature move upgrade though, and it gets a 10% main damage equal to this character's max HP, and it means it just stacks with the original 25%. So now he does 35% of his max HP in main damage to 1 enemy. His signature move is actually kind of crazy. I'd say it's one of the best signature moves in the game. It enables him to get a natural turn 2 rush or a command turn 1 rush, and it means you could do, what's that, 68% of his HP in main damage to your target. You know, you could do his signature move, command him, and then do the rush on the same target, and that character will take 68% of his max HP. And you can get his max HP up to like, you know, 60k plus. If you get Pamela lead, it's going to get higher and higher and higher. So yeah, the amount of damage output he's going to have is quite nice. What does he get as a boost on his passives? He's going to get Sharpshooter 2 when attacking, 20% chance to turn attacks into main damage. So he's just going to be a main boss. I think that's 60% total. There it is. When attacking, 60% chance to turn attacks into main damage. I think this is pretty decent, and I have used him on particular challenge run and conquest stages, and he's been vital, honestly, especially against teams that have huge amounts of HP. I'm talking like 120k plus, which is happening right now in Conquest 6, and it's going to get worse as the more conquests come out. But this signature move right here is nuts, So I think he's definitely worth getting up to Limit Break 3 just to get the full boosts, just to get the full amount of Kapoor you can get. Obviously, he's going to get a stat boost as well, so he'll get higher HP because of that, which is going to amplify the damage output furthermore. Okay, Gov 2000 has a visual upgrade, and we get the broccoli, alien on the platform along with Gov 2000. Okay, that's the way it's gonna be. We're gonna check out his upgrades. I don't think there's gonna be too much that can really save Gov. He wasn't the greatest of characters unless they bring out more Skybound X characters. I don't see this guy ever being like kind of usable. He gets +1 turn to daze and impair on his signature move, which will be a 3 turn now instead of a 2 turn, and that is just going to be to the middle, you know, slot, the the enemy in the middle slot. What is his passive upgrade going to be? Is it going to be anything to do with the boost in attack for his teammates? When this character starts their turn, 20% chance all Skybound X teammates get Guardian Shield, and that'll stack with the first part of that, and that'll be 30% total. I think it's 30%. Yeah, when this character starts their turn, 30% chance all Skybound X teammates get Guardian Shield. And like I say, unless there's more Skybound X characters to come, and I believe people told me there's like a Martinez and maybe a Tyrese, so we could potentially see that in the distant future. You never know, we could see those characters come out. This character doesn't have the greatest of usages, just the way it is. Next up is Sam and Tom, and this character was pretty interesting visually, especially. Very interesting character. We've never had a character like this, I don't think, really, other than like Marlon and Rosie, but where it's two characters effectively in one. I think visually we maybe had like a cast upgrade, a bit of signing on the cast, not too much else. Maybe the bag on the back there. What we'll do is we'll check out the Adrenaline Rush upgrade. He's going to get +1 turn of the Impair, so it's going to be a 2-turn Impair instead of a 1-turn Impair. I guess that's reasonable. He is a damage dealer though, and this was kind of what a lot of people were negative about when it comes to this character. He was doing too much things that weren't amplifying his damage. Like his signature move doesn't do any damage at all, but it is very nice control and defense down. So it's a mixed bag. He's kind of like a damage support. He's kind of like a damage support, but he can rush very often in the right circumstances. He's not going to get a signature move boost here, so we'll see what rush increase he's going to get. When attacking the target enemy, gets -20 AP. This is guaranteed, so Demoralize should go up to 40. When attacking the target enemy, gets -40 AP, and -40 AP is a lot. Signature moves aren't going to be able to account for this AP loss, so this is never going to be able to get commanded. That's very powerful, whether he is used on defense, and sometimes you see him in Conquest and Challenge Run, so that is a possibility, or if you use him on attack. Someone uses a signature move after you use this, they can't be commanded in that situation. So this isn't actually that bad at all, but it's just going exactly what I said just earlier, where it's not amplified any of his damage at all. It's more amplified the support, control side of things, but he has reasonable damage anyway. He can hit pretty hard. He's not a terrible damage dealer, and he can rush quite often. In the right circumstances, and his specialist skill does obviously allow him to amplify his damage a little bit more, so controlling characters in a certain way just boosts his own attack because of that. Next up we have Gold Mythic Veronica, and visually she gets the blade on her back, a bit more bloodied. I think there's just a bit more blood splatter everywhere, but Veronica is very much ready for battle. Visually I thought she looked pretty cool, reminded me of was it Vasquez from Alien 2? Quite a unique look. Now look at her upgrade. She doesn't get any upgrades to her rush, but she will get an upgrade to her signature move, and it is going to be +1 turn of days. So now she does a critical hit off of turn 1, and that obviously is going to work with her specialist skill. Up to 2 other enemies get days now for 2 turns instead of 1. This is a nice little boost. She is quite a problematic character, honestly, on Conquest stages that I've seen so far, and her dazing you for another extra turn on top is pretty high, especially considering in Conquest she does so much damage, crazy amounts of damage. It's actually nuts. Now she also has a boost to one of her passives, and it is Opportune Opening 2. When making a critical hit, heal one teammate by 60% of their max HP. And that will stack with Opportune Opening 1, which would mean 100% of their max HP would be healed when she does a critical hit. This is actually really, really good, considering she is a control character. That is a big boost indeed. 100% heal, and considering you want her to get crits because of her specialist skill being Headcracker, I think it's great. I honestly think it's great. Just going to be healing characters up. I don't think it's great for Challenge Run. She's just going to be healing characters. You got someone down really low and then she just heals someone up to max HP. Not ideal. Not what you want to see. But if you are using her on a defense team, and I think her viability is coming around. There are more alert characters coming out that are pretty decent, and I think we're going to see more Pamela leads going forwards if people get their hands on her. Now we'll check out Gold Mythic Eugene, and visually you can see he gets the sort of eye guard that he's not really using on the left hand side. I guess he's using the goggles instead. But he gets like a little satchel as well on his back. He's got axe, a shotgun. Is that a silence shotgun? There's something attached to that shotgun. I think there might be even a silent shotgun, which is possible. It still makes a reasonable amount of noise, but it won't make the sort of kaboom that a shotgun can normally make. We'll check out his boost, and he's not going to get any boost to his rush, which does a lot of damage. 800% is pretty high, but he will get a signature move boost, plus 1 turn of the impair he can do. Is that a turn 2? It is a turn 2. So it'll be the target, or it'll be the line of enemies that he targets will get impaired for 2 turns. So he's got a little bit of control in his kit as well. We'll see what he gets as a boost on his passives, and it is Organ Donor 2. When taking out a target, 50% chance to revive up to 1 teammate with 25% of their max HP. So this should potentially be 100% chance. There we go. Organ Donor, when taking out a target, 100% chance to revive up to 1 teammate with 25% of their max HP. This is actually quite nice. He does a lot of damage on that rush, so if he rushes, he's going to be able to revive somebody, and this could be nice for challenge run. He is going to be a bit easier to come by than other characters just because he is in the event drops on the Gold Mythic wheel, so you are potentially going to be able to get a couple of this character over the next few months. And if you do get him up to limit break 3, you have effectively gotten a revive character who does a huge amount of damage as well. And if teamed up with the right characters, the likes of Laurie, he'll be able to do that damage against somebody who has defense down, so much more likely to take someone out. And because it's a 100% chance to revive, all that you're required to do is damage. And he has honor roll specialist skill too, so his damage is going to be amplified over the course of the fight. Now we'll check out Diamond, and visually Diamond looks awesome. I think Diamond does look really awesome as a Gold Mythic character. She looks a lot like her left hand side. She's got like the shotgun on her back. She's kind of like a vampire hunter, honestly. I think that's the inspiration for Diamond. I think she's one of the cooler characters that we've seen come into the game when it comes to challenge run, and she gets a 100% damage boost on her rush. Probably not what I would want to have seen. I thought it was quite surprising she already had a 600% damage boost. I would have liked to have seen a boost to her signature move, but I don't think we're going to see a boost. Her signature move is just crazy though. It is turn 1. I would love to have seen that go to like -1 on the cooldown, or maybe -2, 0 turn cooldown on that. Yes please, but it's not going to happen. Her signature move is still extremely powerful. You can opt to use this, or you can use her specialist skill instead, because it's head cracker, and you can decide, do I want to daze people turn 1, or do I want to stun them? And you can basically decide based on the enemy's resistances. She should have a boost on her passives. When taking out a target, 40% chance that target gets stunned for 2 turns. This is obviously a very strange one. She has an 80% chance to stun a target when she takes them out. This is 100% just to counter Outlast. That's it. So characters like Vance, Razzo, and Governor, the Alert Governor with Outlast obviously, and any future Outlast character would get potentially 80% of the time stunned if she got the actual takedown, the last hit. And that can help, especially against Razzo and Governor, because that's going to stop them from doing their stuff. It will stop Vance too, but unless you've got crosshairs or something on Vance, he's just going to pick himself back up straight away. On to the last few characters for Alert, and Pamela Milton is a pretty cool leader. I do like Pamela Milton. I think she's going to be great for challenge run if you do manage to get your hands on her. You'd only need to get one of her, because her leader skill does not require any sort of upgrades or anything like that. It's instantly as powerful as it's ever going to be. Visually, it looks like she gets a little bit of like kind of rips on her stockings. She's maybe getting a bit too much more into battle than she would otherwise want to be, because she's got her guy who's just basically doing everything for her. She's not getting her hands dirty, or her gloves dirty, as the case may be. We're going to check out her rush upgrade. She's going to get a 100% defense boost here. So she gets a 300% defense boost for 1 turn when she does her adrenaline rush. Personally, I would have preferred it last for an extra turn rather than giving her extra defense. I prefer 2-turn defense boost, if it's 200% especially, over a 300% for 1 turn. Just because in those situations you can just ignore the character for 1 turn, you can control them for that turn and just focus on someone else, whereas 2 turns, it's a little bit more nasty in my opinion. Will she get a signature move upgrade? She is not going to, so it's a turn 1 signature move with a massive cooldown, but you know, she gets elusive and 100% impair resistance, so and obviously she's not going to do any damage in that, so there's no chance she's being controlled in that situation, so it's not too terrible. Lastly, she should get a boost to a passive, and it is going to be Army Support 2. When rushing, 30% chance this character gains 100% AP. So I think that goes up to 60% total, I think. There we go. Army Support. When rushing, 60% chance this character gains 100% AP. That is obviously very powerful. That is very powerful. The 30% chance was nice. This reminds me of... Is it Andrea, the tough character? I think it's pretty much the same thing. But Andrea has to take someone out, I think. Whereas she just has to rush. So she could rush and then be commanded to rush again. So she could rush twice and just, you know, the flick of her finger. So just be aware that if that happens, it is actually meant to happen. It will look very strange when it does. Skeleton Steve is up next, and he gets a scythe in his hands. I don't think he had the scythe before Limit Break 3. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks cool. I like it. I've been using Skeleton Steve a little bit at Limit Break 1, so I wouldn't mind getting my hands on more of him just to make him a bit more stat heavy. But it'll be interesting to see what he gets as boosts. It's Limit Break 3, he gets plus 20% to the attack down that he does, so it will be 50% attack down for 2 turns instead of 30%. That's okay. That's not terrible. 50% attack down to 3 enemies. I like that quite a lot. Just going to reduce the amount of damage output characters are going to have. He's not going to get a signature move upgrade, and his signature move honestly was one of the more powerful parts of his kit. 3-turn taunt off of turn 1, and it's got a very, very short cooldown. And then obviously he gives camouflage to teammates. Yeah, pretty good. What's his passive upgrade going to be? Is it going to be the Confuse? Bone to Pick. When being attacked, 20% chance one enemy gets confused for 2 turns. And that will stack with the first half of Bone to Pick. So that should be 60% chance when being attacked to confuse an enemy for 2 turns. That is honestly really powerful. Considering this guy is an event character, he'll be in the event side of the odds on the Gold Mythic stuff. So you'll be able to get this character a bit more easily. That is a heavy amount of control. That is a heavy amount of control. I thought 40% was good, but 60% is great. And I think we've got a character that does this already. Marcus does 60% stun on his Limit Break 3 as well as a strong character. But yeah, this is dirty. This is honestly really dirty. I like this a lot. And Skeleton Steve has just got a boost, in my opinion. I think he's already a pretty good character. Gold Mythic Carl is a current event character, and he is going to get the Christmas lights. He is going to get the Christmas lights as a Alert Gold Mythic. I did preview this on his actual preview of his kit when he originally was released. I showed it right at the end of the video just to show the Christmas lights. I don't think he had them on him before. I'm pretty sure he didn't. But on the left-hand side, yeah, he's got just so many different holidays going on. It's kind of crazy. We'll see what he gets as a boost to his kit. At Limit Break 3, he's going to get a 40% attack boost. I said a 40% attack up boost, so one other teammate with the damage roll gets 100% attack for 1 turn. Can you imagine that 100%? I thought 60% attack was good, but can you imagine that 100% attack going to like Michonne 2000 before she's going to rush, you know? Just anyone, like even if it's on challenge run, could you imagine that going to like Sandy, you know, Laurie? We're talking huge, like, nuclear levels of damage output. And the fact that it's guaranteed to go to a damage roll character is really, really nice. It is only for 1 turn, so you've got to time this rush as well as possible. If you've got 2 characters that are damage roll, one has their rush, one doesn't, it could go to either of them. It could go to the character that hasn't got their rush. So you've got to be very careful with how you time this rush for sure. If we check out his signature move, does that get a boost? It is not. I think his signature move was already pretty heavy, doing a lot of stuff. 2 turns stun, two extra characters getting stunned. You know, if they're medics, lots going on with that signature move. We'll check out his passive upgrades here, and he's going to get a boost to Holiday Cheer 2 at the start of each wave. All Holiday heroes get 30% attack and defense for 2 turns. So is that going to be a 60% bonus? It is. At the start of each wave, all Holiday heroes get 60% attack and defense for 2 turns. This is actually not too bad. It really depends on who the other Holiday Cheer characters are that come out, you know. We've had Tyrese and Herschel, damage dealers. Skeleton Steve, who is a defense character, so he'd be able to take advantage of defense. If we get 2 more defense characters, you could put Holiday Carl on a defense team with those 3 Holiday Hero defense characters, and they could all work together on the same defense team, getting 60% defense boost every single wave. Oh, actually, it wouldn't be every single turn. I maybe read that wrong, but it's at the beginning of the wave, so it'll be the first 2 turns of a raid or a war battle, which is still pretty good. It's still pretty good indeed, and it should happen, because it happens at the beginning of the wave, it should happen before your enemy gets a chance to hit you, so you'd have a 60% defense boost just right away. Now we'll check out Gold Mythic Lou, who is obviously the current promo character that's on the Premier Wheels. And visually, I think he loses the shirt. I think he just completely flexing on us with all the tattoos. Gold Mythic Lou here. Visually, it obviously looks really cool. Gold pistol stands out a lot more now. He might have got the backpack. I'm not 100% certain, but he definitely lost the shirt. Is he going to get a rush upgrade? His rush is not going to be upgraded, so he's going to potentially get a signature move upgrade, which is honestly very, very powerful already. But it's going to be 30 AP drained as the last limit break 2 there. We already went over this. He's going to get a 50% infection boost. One enemy gets 100% infection. For 2 turns, all alert teammates recover from bleed. Yeah, this is kind of dirty. This is kind of dirty, let's be honest. 100% infection is crazy. I've been coming up against some Lus with the 50%, and I've just been able to like out heal it because I'm using William, but I'm not going to be able to out heal 100%. Not with a William anyway. So this is going to be a big problem. This is going to be a big problem. That first turn control is going to be vital to stop him from actually doing that. Otherwise you're in trouble. He should get a passive upgrade as well. And his passive is going to be when this character dies, up to 2 enemies get 60% infection for 2 turns. So that should be 100% again? 80%. When this character dies, up to 2 enemies get 80% infection for 2 turns. Honestly, that is pretty nasty too. So you have to control him but not take him out too early. So you've got to leave him to quite late in the fight, but keep him controlled. Kind of weird character to deal with on a defense team for sure. Got to be careful of his weapon, of course, because it's got infection on there as well. There are definitely more ways to deal with this character than there were to deal with Trader in the S-Class era, but yeah, there's a lot of infection going around on his kit, and he should be great, honestly, on attack teams when it comes to Conquest and Challenge Run. This character is going to be awesome, because if he gets focused instantly, he's going to give 80% infection to 2 characters, absolutely no problem. If he doesn't, you know, for turn 1, 100% infection, I don't think many characters could out-heal that. Definitely not anything with, you know, fast healing. So, yeah, this guy's great for those sort of game modes, as well as you know, defense teams and attack teams in war and raids. So that is it for all of the previews of the Alert Limit Break 3 upgrades, and it's actually it for all of the Limit Break 3 upgrade previews altogether. We've done every single trait now. Go check out the other videos if you so wish. You can still enter all of the giveaways on every single video, and I think I'll be doing the draw just in the, I think the first 2 weeks of December. I'll decide a date in the next week or so, and I'll announce it on my Discord. So make sure you're entering, make sure you're sharing the videos with your faction mates so they can enter as well if they want to win themselves a gold mythic of their choice of that trait. But that is the end of this video, guys. I want to thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.